Late. I know it's 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 late, good people. I told y'all know I come on here sometimes do these late night lives, right? I know it's late, but I was like, I couldn't sleep. So I just jumped on here. Listen, before we get into it, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit your notification bell. Make sure it says all so that when I go live, hopefully you'll get notified, okay? What's going on, good people? Hey, look, I just jumped on here just to chit chat with y'all for a few minutes. I ain't gonna hold y'all up long, right? But I don't know, I had a little something on my mind. I wanted to share it with y'all, right? Reflecting. I don't know why this was just on my mind, right? Reflecting. Reflecting is something that we should all do. Let me tell you why. Because some of us, we be so caught up in what's going on around us, right? And we be caught up in survival mode. And a lot of times we don't take the time out to really think about ourselves and what's going on within us. And listen, let me tell you something that I've learned. Reflecting on yourself helps a lot because everything that goes on with you starts with you, right? Which means everything that you do, the way you approach it, the way you think about it, right? The way you walk into it, any scenario that comes your way, it's all up to you and how you deal with it and how you look at it depends on what the outcome will be, right? So just imagine if you got yourself into a place where as though you started doing some reflecting on what's going on within you, okay? Because that's something that affects our life on so many levels, is because some of us don't do no reflecting. We don't stop and look within ourselves, right? We don't stop and look within ourselves. And that's the part that messes us up a lot of times because we don't stop and look at ourselves, right? We don't pay attention to what goes on within us. And when we don't pay attention to what goes on within us, right? Certain situations and scenarios that come up by you not focusing on within you and what goes on with you, you end up, you know, approaching things in a messy way, right? Which makes the situation worse than what it would have been if you had took some time out and did some reflecting before you even approach that situation. Okay? And I'm gonna tell you something else that I learned. A lot of people want to put their kids first. I don't agree with that. And let me tell you why. When it comes to dealing with life and stuff, it's important that you make sure that you keep yourself together. Right? There go that word again, reflecting. It's important that you reflect on what's going on within you and what's going on with you, right? Because as long as you got your stuff together, the kids, the husband, all that's going to be all right. But the minute that you lose you, everything else is lost too. Think about that for a minute. I need you to think about that. So I grew up thinking, yeah, the kids, you're always supposed to just think about the kids. You put the kids first. That's okay when it comes to certain situations, right? But when you are a woman with children and say you got a husband, Or even if you don't have a husband and it's just you and your kids, right? You have to keep you together. You have to keep you together. Because the minute that you lose yourself, everything around you fall apart. Everything around you fall apart. So you have to, that's why I say that reflecting is so important. Journaling is so important, right? Because when you start journaling, you start to write down your thoughts. What's going on within you? The minute that you pick up that journal and you start writing, just write your thoughts. Don't be searching for something to write. Write what you feel within. That's reflecting. When you reflecting, you don't go just thinking of something to write. You write what's going on within you. You write what's going on. At that moment, you write your thoughts and stuff and what's going on within you. I'm telling you, you would be surprised at how these things work in your favor. You know? And I wish some of these things, well, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that. I was getting ready to say some of these things I wish I'd caught on when I was younger. But I don't want to say that because God's time is the right time. You understand? When things start, you know, being revealed to you, hey, it happens. I always say it happens at the right time. So that's why I say I'm not gonna say that. You know? But yeah. I just, that was on my heart and on my mind. I just wanted to come on here and share some of my thoughts with y'all. Like, cause, hey, that reflecting thing is something serious. It really is. And if you ever tried one day, if you ever tried to just get you a notebook and pencil and like at night or whenever is your moments where things be going on within you. Pick the times when things are going on within you and start jotting down those thoughts. Just write them down. They ain't got to make sense, right? They don't have to make sense to you. Just write the thoughts down. I'm going to tell you something. Once you write them down, don't try to make them make sense. Just leave them there. Because they'll all come together eventually. I'm telling you what I know. They will all come together eventually. Just write down what you're feeling at that moment and what's going on inside of you. Because that's something that a lot of us don't address. We don't address what be going on inside of us. Some people don't even want to touch that. They don't even want to touch within. It's like they scared of it. And that's where we all need to start, is what's going on within ourselves. Let me tell you something that I learned. A lot of people can talk about everybody else, right? But how many people do you hear can actually talk about their self? Yeah, I'm not saying that people can't nobody do it, but what I am saying is that how many people do you find that can actually talk about their self instead of talking about other people? I was never good at that, at talking about other people. That's just something I wasn't good at. And when I finally learned how to talk about me, it changed the game for me. And I'm gonna tell you something. That's something that helped me heal with a lot of things that was going on with me. That's something that actually helped me heal, was being able to talk about me and my own shit, you know, and not talking about other people. Because I notice a lot of people can do that. A lot of people can they can talk about everybody else, but you don't hear them talk about their own shit. And a lot of times people be trying to hide and cover up stuff, you know. That's not going to help you. That's not going to help you. What's going to help you is that you start to do some reflecting and you start to figure out who you are and what's going on within you. Those are the things that's going to help you. That's something that's going to help you start to know you. Is doing more reflecting on yourself instead of worrying about other people. See, you can't change. How you going to change if you so caught up in talking about somebody else and you don't focus on what's going on with you and what's happening within you? Because a lot of us are broken and damaged, and a lot of us need healing. We really do. It's just some of us don't want to accept that. We don't want to accept that. We want to ignore it. We want to cover it up. We want to act like it don't exist. But a lot of us have issues within us. And a lot of us know that those issues are there. We just don't want to take the time out to heal. And when you get to that place where it's though you wanna connect with yourself and find out what's going on with you, listen, it's not easy when you first start out, because you do have to become vulnerable for you, not for somebody else, but you're becoming vulnerable for you. I hope you understand what I'm saying. And if you don't, let me break it down a little bit more. When you embrace you and you start going deep within yourself, okay? And you start laying out things. You start talking to yourself about you and being open and honest about you to you. Yeah, it's going to feel funny. It's going to feel uncomfortable. But if you stick with it, there's a rainbow at the end of every storm. If you stick with it, you're going to be surprised of where you'll end up at and how you're going to feel once you get there. You see what I'm saying? Trust the process and go with the flow. Yeah, you might be angry. You might feel some anger. You might cry. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have mixed emotions because you are now embracing what's going on within you. And these things has probably been going on with you for a long time, but you've been covering it up. Some of us smoke weed because we don't want to acknowledge it. Some of us drink because we don't want to acknowledge what's going on within us. And some of us smoke weed and drink and shit because we want to sedate that shit. We don't want to feel it. We trying to forget that it's there. But I'm telling you, it's not. That's not how it's work. It's going to be there, and it's going to keep bothering you because you need to heal from it. So it ain't going nowhere. It's not going nowhere. It's going to be sitting right there, poking at you. Every chance it get, it's going to be right there. And you can heal within. You can heal within. You can heal within. The world doesn't have to know that you're trying to heal and that you are healing. You just have to be open and honest with you. Because if you go into it and you go in it lying and telling lies and stuff and covering up stuff, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You have to get to a point where you be open and honest with yourself about what's going on within you. And a lot of us don't want to touch that shit. We don't. But we need to. And we're not going to be better people until we do it. And that's just the truth. You're not going to be a better person until you touch that stuff that's going on within you. And the minute that you touch it and you start talking about it, not to the world, but to yourself. You can stand in your mirror and start talking about the things that's going on inside of you, that's bothering you. You can stand right in your mirror and talk about it to yourself. And I'm telling you, you're going to start feeling a difference. You're going to start feeling the change. I'm telling you. And you might, like I said, you're going to have mixed emotions. You might start crying. Whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. You may start crying. You may just get angry. Don't let that stop you from you keep going. Take a break and come back later and start again. That's just growth. You breaking down those walls that you done had up for so long. That's what's happening. When you start to talk to yourself about what's going on within you, and then those feelings flare up, that's growth happening. That's growth starting to take place. Because you have had this stuff buried in you for so long and you haven't talked about it or none of that. It's been there. You know it's there. But you just, you never opened up and talked to yourself about it or wrote it down. You just ignore it. But the minute that you start to do that, yeah, you're going to go through some things. Like I said, some your feelings going to flare up. Feelings, emotions going to flare up. But trust the process because you're going to feel better. As you keep going, you're going to start to feel better. Don't quit. That's the worstest thing you can do is quit. Once you get it started, just trust the process and keep going. And you're going to be surprised of how you feel once you keep going and going and going. You're going to be surprised of how you're going to feel. Healing is so important. And for people like us, we need healing. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. We need healing because people of color go through so much. We always going through something. We always going through something. And that's why it's so important for us to do reflecting. To be reflecting on ourselves and stuff. Because we go through a lot. It just is what it is. But there's a way that you can deal with those things where it won't have you depressed or anxiety, being anxious all the time and stuff like that. It's ways of dealing with it. It's ways of dealing with it, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, the best thing I did was begin my healing process, right? When I finally got clean and stuff, I started going to see my psychiatrist, started going to see a therapist and stuff like that. Those things really helped me. But you know what helped me more so than anything is when I decided to open up and be honest with myself. That was a game changer. When I made that choice and the decision to open up and be open and honest with myself, that was a complete game changer for me. It really was. Sitting by myself, writing things down that I was feeling, and then sometimes I would stand in my mirror and talk to myself. And sometimes I would cry, or I would cry so hard. I would just cry so hard. Mm-mm-mm. And then sometimes I was angry. I would get angry. Like you just be having mixed emotions because, you getting all that out that's inside of you that you've been holding on to for so long. But once you get it out and you start changing, oh my, it's such a good feeling. It is such a good feeling, I'm telling you. But what I did do was I created a free journal for people you know, who are going through something and want to come back from it. People that want to reflect and rebuild, okay? And you're trying to come back from whatever it is you got going on within you. You're trying to heal from it. I created the Quiet Comeback Journal, and I put the link in the description box, and it's free. It's free. I just want as many people as possible to heal because I know a lot of us are broken and damaged, and a lot of us need healing. And that's why, when I'm out and about, I see so many things going on in the world. And I know why they're going on. Because so many of us are broken and damaged. And we do need to heal. We need to heal. And we need to start connecting with the Most High. But a lot of times, when you got a lot of stuff going on within you, it's kind of hard for you to see anything else when you got a whole lot of stuff going on inside of you. When you're broken and damaged, it's hard. It's hard to connect with anything, with all those things, all that stuff that you've been holding on to inside of you. It's hard. I know it is. I've been through it. So I know it's hard. It's hard. But it can be done. It can be done. It can be done. The only thing you need to do is be willing to be open and honest with you and want to make that change. Want to heal and get that stuff out of you. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Stop worrying about what somebody think. Because sometimes that's what stops some of us from doing stuff because we worried about what somebody think or what somebody gonna say. Stop worrying about that. It's about how you feel about you. And if you don't feel good about yourself, then that should be enough right there for you to want to do something about it. If you're someone who doesn't feel good about yourself, then you should want to do something about that. It's just that simple. And you should want to start loving yourself. And it's kind of hard to love yourself when you're dealing with a lot of stuff going on with inside of you. It's hard to do that. When you're broken and damaged, it's hard to love yourself. It really is. So I just wanted to come on here and give somebody something to think about. I don't know who may be going through something, you know, but I wanted to come on here. I just had those thoughts in my head. I just had to talk about it. Because sometimes I be having thoughts and then I end up forgetting. So that's what my late night talks be about. When I jump on here late like this, it's because I got stuff going on in my head and I need to talk about it. So that's what I do. Cause I'll end up forgetting. But yeah, you know, it's time to make a change, y'all. It really is. If you're someone that's dealing with a lot within yourself and you need healing, try it out. Try it out and see what happens. See what happens. You know, I don't really tell people, people that's going through a lot and they have a lot going on within themselves. It's kind of hard to tell them to love themselves, right? Because when you have a lot going on within yourself, it's hard to do that. It's hard to love yourself when all that stuff is going on inside of you. But what I am going to say is give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance and start your process of healing. Start the process of healing. Because I'm telling you, you won't regret it. And until you do start healing within, it's going to be very hard for you to love yourself. It really is. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. And again, I have the link to the free journal. If you want to get it and start the process, you can. It's a free journal. It's called The Quiet Comeback. Okay? Give yourself a chance to heal. You won't regret it. And you'll thank me later. I will holler at y'all on the next one. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell. Make sure it says all. So when I do go live, you'll get notified. And I will holler at y'all on the next one. Keep your head on a swivel and stay prayed up.